And we're live. Hey, everyone. Ben here with a very special guest. Well, no longer a guest, I should say, but Jenna, welcome.
Thank you.
I know if people are filtering right now, it's a Monday afternoon, not really the first, I think the most idyllic time to drink whiskey.
It's the perfect time to drink.
Unless you're really into whiskey. I think this is actually pretty great. I think this is a pretty rare opportunity to taste such an exciting whiskey on a Monday afternoon. So thanks to everybody who's watching, and I know people will be filtering in, but please ask questions and welcome. So Jenna, kick it off. Obviously, the first big change is where are we? We're both in Chicago.
We're both in Chicago.
I think we've been talking, but I want you to kind of get into yourself a little bit. But obviously, we're super excited. Jenna's here. You've appeared as a guest once. I think we did we did an Instagram live stream, but you've been on our YouTube channel as a guest. Many of you, if you don't know Jenna as Whiskey A Go Girl, the famous whiskey blogger based out of LA. And so we made the announcement, Jenna's just joined our team. So you're not a guest anymore. You're actually part of this whole shebang.
Very happy to be a part of it.
You're happy. We're super
I'm very happy to be a part of the team.
So, I think as you can tell by the description of this video and what we've been pushing out on social media, and also for society members watching, you may have gotten our email about this, but we have a very special whiskey to taste together.
Very excited to taste this.
You've tasted this before, right?
I have, but just in a small, tiny little taste. So I'm excited to have a proper pour on this rainy Monday.
So what we'll do is Jenna, obviously, as you know, is new to our team. As I just mentioned, I want Jenna to kind of share her story. A lot of people have been asking me about it. Or basically saying that's so exciting. Jenna's on board, part of the society, but just a little preview what we'll be tasting today. And what I'll do is actually maybe I'll pour these out. This is a fresh bottle, which is always kind of fun to do. We'll open this bottle. You can open this one actually.
Okay.
We'll pour these out and just let the whiskey breathe. I generally like cask strength whiskey to take some time before taking the first sip of a fresh bottle.
Likewise.
But we'll get into the whiskey. So while it's breathing, you want to just kind of tell everybody just about, I don't know, obviously you just joined the team last week, but
yes.
Maybe about your history with the society as a member before that.
Yeah, so my whole thing with whiskey is I've really just loved the exploratory part of whiskey and really trying to learn as much as I can about it. And in that process, I learned to really love cask strength whiskey. It's something that took me a little time to really appreciate. And that is how I kind of found the society, and then with Ben's help and really kind of explaining to me what it was about. And I really just fell in love with the fact that you get these really rare and exceptional cask strength whiskeys, but you also get almost like a personal guide to guide you through, each bottle essentially. So I've been a member for...
When did you join?
Last year sometime. Yeah. And I've loved being able to, this has probably taught me more about whiskey than, things that I've been doing on my own, and to be able to talk about it and ask questions and say, hey, I really love this cask. What would you recommend for me next? Or I don't know, it's been a really exciting way to navigate and to learn about different types of whiskey and maybe ones that you wouldn't typically pick up on your own. So there are some distilleries that I've never even had a chance to have until I had bottlings from the society. So that's been a lot of fun. I think that's what I'm most excited about being a part of the team now, is that I get to share that with everyone else. And so
I feel like you joined not too much longer after I did. I think I was a pretty new member at the time. I just remember, being really excited when I first became a member. Not that I'm less excited, but I was really excited at first. I found that, the first thing I wanted to do was find other people to talk about whiskeys with. And Jen and I are both two people who independently run, whiskey blogs and will really anchor with Instagram and social media. And so I think in the habit of just talking about whiskeys, and we just love, I think both of us, speaking for both of us, but both love talking about whiskeys. And so when I joined the society, the first thing I wanted to do was just find people to talk about this whiskey with, and you obviously were friends, and so I was kind of just saying, Jenna, just join me on this little journey, but she did it on her own, and so yeah, it's kind of funny we're both here.
I know.
But in a whirlwind. So for everybody who's tuning in, Malt Review, the kind people out in the UK, great to see you. Alexandra, this party is lit indeed. Drinking Caveman, good to see you as well. Is everybody at work today? I mean, I know in the UK, obviously, if you're watching. Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Is anyone drinking whiskey? Malt review. I suppose if that's JJ, I'm sure you are. So, what superior dram do you have in your glass?
A Tormore, I think, is probably what he has in his glass.
Well, so tell people what you're going to be doing. I mean, for your
so you know, I'm based out in Los Angeles, which means that's where I'm going to really start to kind of get my feet wet and bring the society to LA. I'm going to be doing events and tastings, and we actually have 2 next week that we're kind of jumping on board with. We're going to be in support of the Water of Life film. We'll be doing a tasting at Miro. So if you're interested in coming to that, feel free to shoot me a message and I'll send you all the details for that. And then we'll be doing another little one on Friday with our friends from Denver and Lively. And so that'll be kind of a fun way to start meeting a lot of our members out in Los Angeles. So again, if you are interested in either of those, please send me a message and I'll send you the details on that. But for the most part, I'm just going to be bringing the society. Really, I'm just starting with Los Angeles. We're gonna take over, really. Well,
I mean, our team in the U.S. is relatively small. People think our company is a lot bigger, but we're really a small, close team based out of New York. We're here in Chicago. I live in Chicago, and I was the first one, not in New York, basically. And so bringing you on and being anchored in LA, although our team is a very national focus, I mean, we're really just trying to advocate for the society and find people who would really fall in love with it as we did across the USA. But I think we're excited as a company to have people out on the West Coast.
Yeah, we have a lot of really great members out in California. So I'm excited to really meet many of you and share some really fantastic whiskey.
What have been your best society memories as a member? I'm like, it's like an interview style thing.
Yeah, some of the best whiskeys I've ever had have come from the society. I know 135.1 is, I have a really soft spot for that. That is one of my favorite society bottles.
That was from 2 months ago.
Yeah,
we were out in Vegas and we did that.
And that was the first time I had it, and I was just really blown away. It still sticks with me as one of my favorite whiskeys. But honestly, I think the thing I love the most about the society, or maybe my best memory of or experience with the society, is the fact that I've learned so much. Yeah. Even before I worked here, like I could call and be like, Ben, what does this mean? I don't understand what all of this means. And you break it down, and it's nice to kind of have an ally, in the society to be able to, sure, you're teaching me about society bottles, but, in the long term, you're really just learning about whiskey. So that's been by far my favorite part, is just that personal guidance that I've received in being a member.
Yeah, I don't think, people realize it all the time. I mean, I talk to, our friends within the whiskey community alone. And, when I was a member, working with the team now, but as a member, I was doing the same thing. I was calling them, in New York all the time and saying, hey, I got this outturn in the mail, or I got the email. What do you think about this whiskey? And getting recommendations. And I think it can be difficult sometimes with single cask whiskey, given that no two are ever alike and everything is super rare.
But it's nice to have, I guess we've discussed, like, you roll the dice sometimes when you're buying single cask, but the fact that that all of the whiskeys from the society are blind tested and they only bottle the best of the best, and to be able to have a guide to really break down a whiskey for you has been huge. So I've yet to be disappointed.
I know a lot of members are actually kind of tuning in. I've been watching the comments here. Whiskey Throttle, good to see you. Jason Whiskey Wise is out in the UK.
Hey.
He says, hey, Ben and Jenna. Hey, the Scotch Malt Whisky Society of America, Ben and Jenna. You need new Instagram accounts. Everybody, hey, so anyway, we're going to get into this whiskey, but if you have any questions about the society, again, I'm super excited that Jenna, obviously, is a friend and fellow whiskey enthusiast, is on board here. As she mentioned, we'll be doing a lot of events in person and also digital. I think it's really cool to connect people, especially in the U.S. It's no small country from a geographic footprint standpoint. And it's not always easy. We know for some of you who are not in major metropolitan cities like New York, Chicago, or LA. And so connecting people over just YouTube or any other format we want to use in the future is really exciting. And so Jenna's going to be helping out with that as well. But let's talk about the whiskey first.
Let's talk about the whiskey.
Obviously, obligatory comment: if you're drinking whiskey at home, tell us what you're drinking on this Monday afternoon. But do you want to introduce it? You want me to introduce it?
Go for it.
You want me to? Okay, so you may have noticed from the label, this is a little different from our typical bottles. And I want to grab one just to show. This is our standard bottling. This is a cask that's currently available. 7.184 handbags and hookahs. I know that with this LED light that's kind of bright, but we're not going to be tasting this today. I just want to show the comparison. Different label here. This is a exclusive cask that we bottled for members of the United States only, and not to say American Scotch whiskey drinkers are any more sophisticated or less thereof than others in the world. But we're really excited because this year in the US, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary. The society as a whole is 35 years old this year. We in the US are 25 years old. And so to celebrate that occasion, we bottled an entire cask and imported it from the UK. So specifically for the celebration, it's called cask number 46.63. I'll show it here. And the name, appropriately so, is Amber Waves of Grain. For the American viewers in the audience, I think you'll know the origin of that name, but we're pretty excited because we actually came up with that name ourselves. We were working with the team in the UK back in, I want to say, February and March to come up with a name that would be appropriate for this occasion.
It's very appropriate.
This is the one we chose. I'm sad to say, I've said this before, my name suggestion was rejected, but Brianna, if you're watching this, our colleague Brianna in New York is a bit more witty. She's actually a poet. I don't know if anyone knows that. She is an actual poet, so she came up with this one, Amber Waves of Grain. 25 years old, appropriately so, to celebrate our 25th anniversary from Distillery 46. And, we don't really go too deep into the name of the distillery. We leave it off the bottle because with single cask whiskey, no two casks are alike. And a lot of times we'll bottle whiskey from distilleries that, the style, the flavor itself, and the character will not necessarily be indicative of that distillery's house style,
right?
And they bottle single malts. And so I will say this, Distillery 46, it's very rare to see malt whiskey as a single malt bottled. A lot of it goes into blends from the big blending houses. So 4663 Amber Waves of Grain, 25 years old from Speyside, 52.6% at natural cask strength. And then obviously, like all society whiskey, this is naturally colored. You can see kind of like a pale straw gold. This is 25 years in American oak, ex-bourbon hogshead, one of the most common types of casks for the Scotch whiskey industry. Right off the bat, what do you think? Again, freshly opened bottle, so it's going to be a bit more punchy.
It's a little punchy.
Yeah. I mean, right off of it.
I get a lot of honey and almost lemon. There's like a lemon, really fresh, zesty element to that.
Yeah, I get like a nice lemon rind. Like it's 25 years old. It definitely draws you in a very elegant way, but it's very zesty. And again, is that just because it's a new bottle, or is that because that's just a character? Remains to be unseen, but I quite like it. A bit of like vanilla frosting right on the nose right away for me.
Some honey cakes and like a lemon honey pound cake.
Overall, not too in your face.
No,
I think
it's really nice, especially for a fresh bottle.
For a fresh bottle, draws you in at cask strength. It's vibrant, it's lively, but it's not necessarily overboard. Some of the whiskeys that we'll bottle, I think to the taste of many of our members will be really intense right off the bat. And this is definitely matured for 25 years. I think the age is somewhat obvious just based on the experience of the aroma.
Nice and leggy.
So,
yeah.
Cheers. Happy Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, cask strength whiskey on a Monday afternoon. Wow, my palate's like awake.
I'm awake.
I mean, I think it's funny we don't taste whiskey on Monday afternoon, but I have to say it's my palate's pretty fresh. Like this is a total fruit bomb. Oh, and guess what? Malt review comments, fruit bomb. Wow, that was just spot on. Yeah, this is super fruity for me. It's just like orchard fruit, right away on the palate. Yeah. What are you getting?
I don't know. I still get a lot of those. Yeah, it is definitely fruity, but it's like I'm trying to think. I always like compare whiskeys to desserts. I just love desserts, so that's probably why I do that. But yeah, it's like a light fruit tart almost. But like I'm still trying to place it.
Yeah, for me, I get a lot of like that, just that orchard fruit drizzle and honey. But I like kind of
honey for sure.
We're jumping all over the tasting experience, but like for me, like on the towards the back end of the palate, it becomes very drying, which I find signifies age a bit. The complexity's there, but right away, again, like first dram out of the bottle, very bright and vibrant.
Very bright, and I like too that it's like it's mellow but intense at the same time.
So, question: how many bottles? So we in the U.S. we imported the entire cask. There was an even 200. Oh, that is still going on. There was an wow, that is really flavorful. But there was an even 250 bottles from this cask. That was the yield. Currently on our website, SMWSA.com, which after this we'll link down below. You can check it out. There are 139 as of this afternoon. I know a few people picked up some bottles this morning, quite a few actually. So as of today, 139 left in the USA.
That's really good.
If any of you, I'm seeing some comments, if you've had, other casks from Distillery 46, I'm curious to hear your opinions. Again, it's a rare distillery in the sense that it's not a rare distillery, but the malt whiskey, the opportunity to taste the malt whiskey from this distillery is a rare one itself. So lemon tart says malt review, custard tart, Portuguese,
lemon,
old school fruit bomb in the red cask,
a little lemon meringue tart. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is there's a certain elegance to it, but
sure.
I love the vibrancy.
But it's very vibrant. Yes, it's very fun and playful and kind of bounces around your mouth.
Yeah, I just think when you buy, if you're going on the market, you're buying 25-year-old single malt whiskey, which is not something I do every day by any means.
I wish I could.
Yeah, sure, certainly. When you do it a lot of, if you just on the market for general single malts, I mean, most of them are bottled at, commercial drinking strength of 40 to 43%. And so it's going to be a very smooth, rolling, elegant experience generally. And so I just love the opportunity to taste, and that's really the first society whiskey I ever had was at around this age. I was blown away because it's like, wow, all that complexity in a package that's not just only smooth and elegant. We're going to add some water. I'm going to add some water in a minute.
Yep.
I know you're way into going neat.
I am. I like if I could put a straw in a cask, if I could just have cask in my house and I just put a straw in it, that's how I would drink my whiskey. I'm not a big fan of adding water. I do it to some whiskeys, but I really love that vibrant explosion of flavor all the time.
Yeah.
So,
a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So Ben and Jenna, what are your SMWS guilty pleasure bottles, which would be a go-to? Guilty pleasure bottle. I don't know. I've never felt guilty. Well, yeah.
Oh, the pudding one.
Oh, they're 37.96
yes.
cinnamon semolina pudding.
That would be my guilty pleasure bottle.
A 13-year-old Speyside from Distillery 37.
I really love
finished in
that.
Pedro Jimenez sherry. Oh, yeah.
That one was that I could drink that every day. I really love that.
I'm into that as well. I really like the French oak as well, but I think I'm really just becoming more open to these older American oak, like very elegant. It's not. I know it's typically not me as an Isla fanboy myself. Again, it depends when you're enjoying it. I think for the daytime, I find myself now that being part of the team full time, like I do get to taste during the day a bit more often. So it's sometimes too much to go into those Isla smoke bombs.
Right.
At what time is it? 2, 3 in the afternoon. But other questions. So, what distillery would you like to try, which you haven't yet? I think for me, probably Jura would be one. I think. I mean, as a single cask, but I don't know.
I have not had a Bruichladdich from SMWS, and so that would be just because I'm their biggest fan club.
Yeah.
I would love to have a single cask from Society from them.
Last promo membership. During Kevin, I think, there's we don't have any promos at the moment, but let's talk. We'd love to have you back with the Society. We have a lot of exciting whiskey coming. I know knowing your palate, you'll really get into as well. Let's see. Brianna Ross, what up, people? Brianna, everybody who's in the commentary right now, Brianna is our colleague in New York We named this whiskey Amber Waves of Grain for the U.S. exclusive bottling. So please give her all credit for doing that. Thoughts on this whiskey? I know it's.
I think the biggest thing is that you're getting a really, even though it's 25 years, you're getting a really lively. Vibrant is the word we keep using, but it really is a vibrant, explosive, fun whiskey. And I think it's a great way to celebrate the 25 years here in America. I think it's pretty darn spot on.
Yeah, I think it's a classic. It's classic bourbon oak. It's got all the vanillas. Really the orchard fruit and honey note is the most dominant for me right away. I think as we sip on this dram, and especially in a couple of days, I think
it's going to evolve, of course.
I think it's really vibrant right now, but I think it'll likely evolve into something a bit more mature, and perhaps more mellow. But I think it's a thought-provoking whiskey, which I don't usually get a lot of from American oak. I find that it is on the surface, it can be kind of, it is what it is.
Right.
So it's nice to see something that's a really complex, thought-provoking dram, such as this one from this type of cask. It'll
be exciting to see how this evolves. I really like that it kind of came out of the gate strong and was a little more on the explosive side, but it's definitely like a lemon meringue tart, but you do get a lot of those honey notes as well. But I'm a fan.
Yeah. So I guess, let's see the other questions coming in. Jason just said he was just at the Society venue actually in London that just posted a picture. I didn't see that yet, Jason, but definitely check that out. We have, I know we have quite a few people from the UK. We're probably home drinking whiskey after Monday at work. We have 3 member venues, 2 in Edinburgh, well, one in Leith, 1 in Edinburgh, and then 1 in London as well. So, Jason, hope you had a good time there today. Let's see. Anyway, well, for everybody for tuning in, thanks for joining. Let's say how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So if you're out in my neck of the woods or on the West Coast or really anywhere, please reach out. You can find me on Instagram at Whiskey A Go Girl, or you can shoot me an email. It's Jenna@SMWSA.com. You can send me any questions, concerns, just want to say hello. And I know over the past couple of days, I've had a lot of people congratulate me on this really exciting part of my life. So thank you guys for all of your love and support. Really, the whiskey is great and I love it, but it's really truly the people in this community that make it so incredibly special. So I would love to be able to give back and share what I can as far as what the society has to offer. And so please, at any time, feel free to reach out and say hi or ask a question or
so
anything you can think of.
And so Brianna, you mentioned, her email is Brianna@SMWSA.com. It's pretty simple.
Yep.
Jenna@SMWSA.com, Ben@SMWSA.com. Obviously, you can find us on Instagram, Whiskey A Go Girl.
Single Malt Alliance.
One man with the name of a group. But otherwise, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Jenna,
thank you.
Amazing to have you on board.
Thank you for having me.
Get used to seeing her a lot more. She'll be around. So thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
For tuning in from the US and the UK and everywhere in between. We'll catch you later.